In this last couple of months, I've been searching for an answer to a very specific question.
My name is Acheglu Maiwa. I live in Port Harcourt. As a matter of fact, I'm Omopota.
Growing up, I never really thought of the word happiness. For the most part, I was a happy kid.
Don't try to steal his thing because the wrath of God will come upon you.
Please, it's okay. This week is your week. This month is your month. This year is your year.
But as an adult, I've been struggling. I could have thought that finding my passion would suddenly change everything, but it seems like the pleasure that comes with doing what you love could also be crippling me.
This is a check for amount of 10,000 hryvnias.
I did it! Yes! It's the peak! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Fuck!
Perfect description for me.
Джозеф очень много рассказывал о тебе.
And now we're at the supermarket. I've told Antonina that anything she wants, I'll pay for it.
Но я хочу спросить, случайно люди, если они не против мне принимать кушать?
Ура!
They say our stories are the same, just the details are different. So, this is my story. When I was a kid, I had a dream. The dream was to one day become a pilot. I was fascinated by airplanes. Afterwards, I remember reading a book about how an aeronautical engineer can both repair and fly a plane. And I thought, oh, I prefer that. But then, as there were no universities to study this in my home country, I decided to be a doctor.
I like to study at the University of Obafemi Awolowo's University, or preferably Harvard University. And I like to study medicine.
And so, I went to study medicine and ended up graduating as a medical doctor. But after graduation, I made a choice to continue my pursuit of something entirely different, which I realized I was passionate about while in college. One thing about pursuing your passion is that it comes with a lot of pain. As a kid, I've always wanted to inspire the world.
My hobby is I prefer sewing into the lives of people.
And we are here. It's no news that 276 girls were kidnapped 2 weeks ago.
This is a check for amount of 10,000 hryvnias.
I remember starting the show in medical school, and it's almost like every single show I made, no one would show up. At some point, you begin to ask yourself, maybe I should just give up. And even now, with over 1 year on the YouTube channel, I almost feel like the channel was never going to take off. You have it deep down within you to keep fighting, to keep pursuing the dream, to keep pursuing your passion. But it's almost like, how much longer? And the pressure to succeed becomes even much more stronger because now you're doing this full time. I left medicine to just do this. These overwhelming emotions and pressure to succeed have almost become detrimental to my mental health, especially when you add the external pressures that I sometimes face also.
Hello, Joseph. Báwo ni? Ṣé o wà okay? When are you getting married? You need to check your age. Your mates are getting married. I went to Fola's wedding last week. You remember Fola, the boy that you used to play with before you left? You finished your medicine school over 2 years and you don't think it is high time you got a job? Do you really think this YouTube is the way? I'm telling you from experience.
In order to escape this pressure a little bit, I decided to travel during my 27th birthday to one of my most recent locations where I shot my last YouTube video in order to remind myself why I do this.
Howdy. 18 hours on the train. Finally I arrived Lviv. Decided to stay in some spectacular, unusual place for my 27th birthday. It is a capsule. Looks good, right? Thank you. Did you forget?
I forgot you.
Or you didn't know today was Saturday?
I thought it's today's Friday.
Yeah, hello, Daddy. Good day.
Yes, so happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you very much.
May the peace of the Lord be upon you.
Amen.
God will sustain you.
Amen.
God will lift you up.
Amen.
You will triumph.
Hello. Good morning. Hi. Namas, hello.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
This is Eva and her boyfriend Taras. In my last video, they were among the strangers who spontaneously decided to come to my networking event, and ever since, we've kept in touch and grown a strong connection. I thought spending my birthday with these new friends whom I met in the process of making these videos would at least help me remind myself of why I do all this.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, dear Joseph. Happy birthday to you. You know what you should do, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I hope. Okay.
Congratulations
First
to your
of all,
Thank you.
this
Thank-
is from, I don't know how you call it, you are?
South African
South
Republic.
African Republic? I'm so scared of this thing.
Why?
Why are you scared, Eva?
Oh, phew. What?
What the hell? No.
Yes, do like.
Are you stupid?
Thank you.
So one of the reasons I decided to travel 18 hours is because in my life right now, I'm just trying to understand what it actually means to be happy, to be satisfied. First of all, what is happiness to you?
I had this feeling when my depression has ended that I came to the surface. Like I was underground all this time, all these 6 years I had depression. And it was like the first time you breathe, the first time you see the sun, the first time you understand that life is beautiful. And now for me, life is precious itself. Even if things go wrong, for me happiness is to live every day.
One of the things like that I've been trying to deal with mentally is I have the pressure on myself to try to be as successful as much as possible. And I do know that it takes time, but how long, it's a question that you never know. The truth is, I came here 8 years ago, and basically since I've been here 8 years ago, it's almost like I'm alone and lonely. The whole situation sometimes makes it hard for me to cope, like psychologically, and I do appreciate the fact that I'm able to meet with you because it gives me some kind of hope. Like 2 months ago, we didn't know each other, and if not for the video that I'm making, right? First of all, I wouldn't travel somewhere else, you know, and I wouldn't be able to have met you. meeting you and having this whole entire conversation, it's kind of like seeing the tip of the iceberg. So the tip of the promise to come, because it's because of the mission that I fully believe in that I dedicate my life to. That's why I was able to meet you. Why do I do all these things? Why do I wake up every day and go out to make videos? Why did I say no not to be a medical doctor and do this? I feel so committed about to be able to create a product or service, or basically a company that's able to affect the lives of people positively, of course, and make a difference in the world. But it's almost like the price you have to pay, it's very, very heavy, and basically sometimes it affects my happiness. This was me on my 7-year-old birthday, looking happy and energetic. If I could go back in time, what would my 7-year-old self say to me 20 years later? Hence, I decided to write this letter. Dear Mayowa, it's been 20 years. A lot of people now even call you by your middle name Joseph. I know you didn't know you'd have to go through the bullies, the hurts, the loneliness, and even the misunderstanding that can come with following your dreams. I see that you're now facing the pressures of life, and it seems like living alone in a foreign country can make you feel even lonelier in this fight. But I want you to remember what your favorite book taught you about gratitude. Say thank you. But for what am I saying thank you for? You're saying thank you because you know your faith is so strong that you don't doubt whatever problem you go through, you'll get through it. You're saying thank you because you know that even in the eye of the storm, God has put a rainbow in the clouds. You're saying thank you because there's no problem that can ever be compared to the Creator of all things. Say thank you. Being grateful all the time isn't easy, but it's when you feel the least thankful that you are most in need of what gratitude can give you. Perspective. Gratitude can transform any situation. It alters your vibration, moving negative energy into positive. It's the quickest, easiest, and most powerful way to change your life. Live each day with gratitude, because as long as you got life, there is purpose in your existence. Your happiness is defined and controlled by you alone. No one else can do that for you. And know this, several years down the lane, some of the things you worried about, you realize they weren't even worth the attention you gave them. Live each moment, here and now, like me, your 7-year-old self did. Everything will be beautiful in its time.
Thank you!
How do you define happiness?
I think love.
Уметь ценить и любить то, что у тебя есть.
Счастье — это когда у тебя огромный дом, телефон, все игрушки, которые модные, и все.
Это когда человек всем довольный, что у него все. Вот это и счастье.
Happiness doesn't depend on money, doesn't depend on places, doesn't depend on anything. It depends on a state of being, on the connecting to the all-powerful and the all around.
It's actually whether you choose to live a happy life or not. So if you are brave enough, then no conditions will turn your life into an unhappy one or something like that.